Hello, welcome back to Journey into Film and TV with Philip Evans and my co-host Neil Weaslin. We are back with part 2 of John Hughes. We are talking about the first film I believe he directed, another classic, and that is 16 Candles.
I love that show. Love it.
Yeah, sorry, when I hear that name now, I think of the song 16 Candles from the film American Graffiti. Great film, too. Great song.
Fell in love with Molly Ringwald in this movie, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
This, I believe, was the first film John Hughes directed. He also co-wrote it, and he directed it. And this is what I believe started the thing that John Hughes has been known for years. The teenager world. The teenager films. Because that's what he made most of his career as a director. The film tells the story of Samantha, played by Molly Ringwald, who Neil, I believe, had a crush on back in the day.
Beautiful. She still is beautiful, but she was beautiful then too. Yes.
Oh yeah. And Samantha starts her day off, and it's her 16th birthday. Problem is,
nobody remembers.
No one remembers it because her birthday comes around the same time as her sister's wedding.
Yes.
So everyone's all gung-ho about that, and everyone forgot about Samantha. And the whole film, for the most part, is her dealing with that and the fact that she has a crush on a guy that doesn't even notice her for the most part. You know, the stuff that I'm sure most kids had to deal with back in the day.
That most teens deal with sometimes at one time.
I'm pretty sure Neil did back in the day.
Absolutely, sure.
But,
you know, these movies make you put yourself in those situations, right?
Yeah.
You know, my folks never forgot my birthday. However, maybe I felt left out about something. Who knows? But that's what she was feeling, left out, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Molly Ringwald, if you're watching this film for the first time and you think that, man, she's so full of herself and bitchy. She had a right to be a bitch her character had a right to be a bitch.
I agree.
Because if you had a birthday and you found out your whole family forgot about it, would you be pissed off?
No, nobody hated her for it. No. Nobody that watched the movie hated her for it. So
no,
yeah,
I was on her side the whole time. Man.
There were a few people we hated in it, but not her. So,
yeah,
exactly. So.
She basically goes to school angry, and when she goes to school on the bus, she meets Farmer Ted, played by Anthony Michael Hall.
Love it.
Who is... Yeah, I had to check to see if I said that right, because while we were rehearsing for this, I accidentally said the name Michael Handley Hall, which is his real name. This is my introduction to him, and this is the role that, whether he likes it or not, he will be known for.
Yes.
Farmer Ted.
Farmer Ted, that's exactly right.
Playing the super mega geek that just wants to get girls, talks about how much of a ladies' man he is, when in reality, he never had sex with anybody.
Besides himself.
Probably.
Yes.
And by the way, that is probably one of the best scenes in the whole film when he's in that car thing with Molly Ringwald and they have that conversation, which is actually a nice conversation to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he tells her, I have this big secret, but it can't go anywhere else. It must remain in this room. She goes, okay. He goes, I never bagged a babe. And her reaction is like, we're shocked.
Which was excellent. An excellent reaction.
Like, no kidding. They're like, just look at you.
So funny.
It's obvious.
So funny, yes.
You've never banged a girl.
Yes.
It's obvious you've never had sex in your life, dude.
Very funny.
It's pretty clear.
Another side note, Have you seen him lately? He's like
Yeah,
tough.
he looks like a badass.
I know,
nowadays.
I know.
I saw him in Edward Scissorhands, and he's a villain. And I was
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
holy crap, that's Anthony Michael Hall.
He's good at drama and thriller action. So.
Did you a little bit off topic? A
Yes.
little bit. Did you know that Stanley Kubrick wanted to cast him in Full Metal Jacket?
No.
Yeah, he said that Anthony Michael Hall was one of the most talented actors he ever saw, and he wanted to cast him, and it didn't happen because of drug issues that he had. But and I was like, well, you know what?
He would have done a good job.
When you get high praise from one of the best directors who ever lived, take that to your grave, man. It's great.
Yeah.
But he really was great in this. A little side note, one of the guys that played one of his sidekicks was John Cusack.
Love John Cusack.
Before he became famous.
Yeah.
This was 1984. About, I want to say 5 or something years until he would do Say Anything, which made his career, which is one of the best teen films ever made from the 80s. I really love that film.
Yes, absolutely.
Every time when you hear the song "In Your Eyes,"
yes, that's right,
from the great Peter Gabriel, you think of that movie.
Yeah, you will think of that movie. That's
you will always think of him with that giant cassette boombox thing. It's like, yep, that's awesome. No, wait, sorry, it's not a boombox; it's a cassette player thingy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that film was great. But we also so the story goes, she falls in love. She has a crush on this guy called Jake Wyan. I believe his last name was Wyan, I think, but it was Jake. She has a crush on this guy Jake, who was someone else, tall blonde chick, and along the way, he develops a little crush on her. Of course, she doesn't know it until later on when a certain nerd blabs.
Yes, yes.
And by the way, just like the last review, there will be spoilers because, again, this film's like 30-something years old. If you haven't seen it, it's like
you gotta go watch it now.
It's like 35 years old, dude. If you haven't seen it, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
But we can't talk about this film without talking about one of the most popular characters from this film, and that is Long Duck Dong, played by Gabby Watabe.
It's just funny to listen to his name still. I mean, every time I hear his name, I laugh.
Dawn. And you know what else is weird is that every time they say his name, you hear that Dawn thing in the background.
Yes.
It's like boom.
So politically incorrect now.
Yes.
Not so much then.
If you watch that movie now, you can't think, oh my God, there's no way. Let me put it this way, folks. There probably has been a book on this, and if there has, please direct me to it. I would love to read it. If there was ever a book on the history of Hollywood stereotyping certain people, whether it be blacks or gays or nerds, Asians, Chinese people, if you were to look at a picture, if they actually showed pictures of walls that would fit that description in film, a stereotype of a Chinese person, you would see Long Duck Dong.
Absolutely.
First picture you'd see would be him. If you wanted to see a stereotype of that wall, it would be Long Duck Dong, because he pretty much does fit that.
He played the role well.
Yeah, and of course there is that scene when he's introduced. He goes, "Evening, hot stuff."
Yeah, I think he said, "Oh, what's happening? Hot stuff."
What's happening? Hot stuff.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and of course there's that scene later on when he falls out of the tree, and then he gets when to by the grandparents,
Yes.
and they go, which way did they go, Don? And he goes, automobile. He just laughs.
Yeah.
And of course,
Right.
I think one of the with him and kick him in the whibs or
I
something
think so.
because he offended them.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty funny scene, but it's like, yeah, again, if you're someone who is hardcore PC social justice, I don't know if you'd like this film,
Right.
but if you're willing to see through the stereotypes, you might like this. And
Yeah.
and also there's in the same scene when Farmer Ted's talking to Molly Wing, and he asks her, can I borrow your panties so I can prove I banged a chick?
Yes.
Again, that's something else. That's
Exactly.
like, ooh, with the whole Me Too movement
Right.
and it's like, I don't know if it would work today, but
But it was so relatable back then.
yeah.
When I was
like,
that
you know,
age, it was relatable.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So.
And I think, Neil, you're really saying a point.
Yeah.
At the time, back in your day, that was the comedy. That was,
Right.
they were not afraid to say or do something that might be considered offensive nowadays. And I don't see a lot of people today willing to take a risk, because they know there'd be all these groups be like wanting to have them kicked out of Hollywood.
Yes.
But you know what? For the time, it worked, and it did win true. And we had, of course, the famous ending when the wedding takes place, and Molly Ringwald is standing outside the door of the church after the wedding
Yep.
goes down. The guy that she loves, Jake. Sorry about that, folks.
I can't remember.
Is right there.
Yeah.
When everyone's gone, he's right there, waiting for her, and
Yeah.
she sees him, and they go to the house or something, and he says to her, "Make a wish," and then she goes, "It always came true," and then they start
Gotcha.
doing it. Pretty much they. I mean, the lights go out as soon as they kiss,
Right.
but you can pretty much put the pieces together, and then the credits roll, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty much a good ending to, a pretty damn good film. I watched it back, and it's still good.
Yeah.
Now you can tell that it is a little dated because a lot of the clothes and the hairstyles.
Sure, but
They
it was 30
are-
some odd years ago.
No, that was the time. Because I know a lot of people, Neil, and I want to ask your viewpoint on this. There are a lot of people that use the word dated whenever they watch films from a certain
Right.
decade. I'm like, oh my God, that is so dated.
I see what you're saying.
And even I've said it to me, when I watched Space Jam again recently, and that's from my time, it is so dated now.
Yeah, it is.
But
It
I
is.
still enjoy it. It's
Right.
not as good as when I grew up, but it's still fun to watch. It's more of a guilty pleasure. But for the time, Neil, in the 80s, that was what was acceptable.
That's right.
What do you think about people that use that excuse, like, well, it's using the clothes and the hairstyles and all that stuff, like, oh my God, it's dated.
I
what do you
think
think of that?
people will look back.
Because you were from that time.
Yeah, people will look back on your generation and say the same thing when they're my age.
Yeah.
It's always it always changes. So people always say that. So what happens is, unfortunately, I still probably have some clothes that are from the 80s.
Next time we get together, Neil, for part 4, you need to wear some of that stuff.
See if I can find.
It would fit because we're talking about the 80s, and
True.
I don't have any 80s gear, guys. I'm sorry, but
yeah.
but I know Neil does. I'm pretty sure he does because again, he was from there, from that time frame. But Neil, let me
I
ask
love
you
the
this.
80s, to tell you the truth. I thought they were good. I
Yeah.
thought it was a good time.
But Neil, let me ask you this.
Yes?
Who from that film would you want to get with now, have a one night stand with now, if you had the option?
If
Out
I
of
weren't
any
married
girl in
and
that film.
if I weren't married and if there were no repercussions, definitely Molly Ringwald. I love her.
Yeah, I really want to say, how come her career didn't blow up?
Good
Because,
question.
well, she was big at the time.
Yes.
Because she was kind of riding the coattails of John Hughes.
Right.
And she still did stuff, but she didn't do anything. She hasn't done anything really big in a long time. And I'd like to see her back. And I think that's going to be a trend because a lot of these people we don't see anymore in film or TV shows. Well, some of them we do, but.
Well, that's a good segue into this break now. We're going to take a break.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with The Breakfast Club.
Which Molly Ringwald was in.
Part 3 for Breakfast Club.